want to hit the one hop stop shot. He goes, play it back. You take the club steep and you come down. And you just pop through it. And it's like it's so old school way of doing it, but fuck, you hit every shot just.
It's Evie Ballesteros, bro. The OG of original gangster short game.
He is the fucking master with the wedge.
Okay, Conrad, in here, the bunker, the cat litter, the beach, sandbox, many names.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this soft, powdery, fine substance.
It's my sanctuary.
Your sanctuary, wow.
Man.
Your place of refuge.
Place of refuge. This is where I feel comfortable most at day.
Where most people aim away, Conrad's looking at the green going, if I could just get in that bunker.
Literally, par fives, I literally sometimes aim for the bunker. Like, man, if I could just get in that bunker, I'd be in good shape.
Wow. Well, let's see hit one here. We kind of, from this angle, got a little short-sighted bunker shot here. You can kind of see the pin over this little mound. He's only got about 8 feet to work with. Ooh. Okay. Good shot. The price.
I had a little saucy hand action there. That's a little too much sauce.
A little too much sauce.
Alright, here's a little normal one here.
Ooh, mommy. Oh, lipped out. I'm not
Close.
lying. I'm not lying. So, Conrad, how did you make this your place of refuge?
Oh, I'll tell you, first off, this never used to be my place of refuge. I mean, I used to actually really dread hitting bunker shots, but it was the act of me dreading it that I made sure that I made it one of my strengths. It took a lot of hours, a lot of hard work, but I think once you understand proper technique, once you understand how to use the bounce of the club and how the club's supposed to, work through the shot, these shots are actually really easy. This is the one shot in golf you actually don't have to hit the ball. Like you actually have room for error behind it to still make solid contact, still hit the shots you want.
So what's something you can do to help you utilize the proper, let's say, path and bounce?
The one drill I always use is kind of, I have the vision of hitting high draws out of the bunker. So one drill that I used to do is kind of like, if you set up into it, right, you drop this back foot, almost kind of like you're trying to work on, padding the club out to the right. Everyone thinks you have to take the club steep to get the ball out of the bunker. I personally, you need to take the club in, it needs to come in shallow to properly use the bounce. So you take club in shallow, high draws.
Oh, that's beautiful there.
And that has it gives you the ability to feel the club properly exiting low left, using the bounce, and padding it the right way.
Well, that's beautiful. And when I was teaching, what that also does is the bunker shot is literally the exact opposite of the driver in the sense, in the bunker, it's not about distance, it's not about speed. It's about actually, adding loft, using the bounce. And so basically you're reversing the sequence of movements where like driver goes, hips and upper body, then shoulders, then arms and hands. Here, we want the lower body still.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't for speed,
Yep.
So you're slowing down the lower body. You're allowing your chest to move, but now you're allowing the arms and hands to catch up a little bit more. There's not this lag and this, hands in front.
You actually want the club head to pass your hands. This is the only time ever in golf I'd say that you want the club to actually pass your hands without, your hips moving. That's how you activate the bounce of the club. Because you know what I mean? The more you have the handle leading, the more the leading edge catches, the more you have the club pass your hands. That's how you actually engage the bounce of the club.
Okay, let me get his face on here. Oh, and you can hear the sound. If the people who are listening can hear the thump, you can always hear a good bunker shot by how it sounds.
Yeah, I say that's arguably the second best sound in golf. The sound of the bunker shot. Next, the first best sound is obviously got to be the ball going to the hole. As good as it gets, folks. As good as it gets.
Yeah. Where do you like ball position? Do you change ball positions depending on short-sided or longer?
I don't necessarily change ball position based on any of the shots, just because you want the club to enter the sand the exact same place. Some people teach that you want to, depending on what shot, how much sand you take out. I try and take the same amount of sand every time, and I just change it based on, club selection, based on, releasing the club, releasing the face a little bit as opposed to holding the face off. You know, adding loft in the backswing or taking away loft in the backswing. That's how I change the distance, height, spin. I don't change it based on how much sand I take. I always try and take the same amount.
Okay.
So I normally try to play the ball in the exact same place every time. I normally play it just slightly front of middle. I try and get the, you know, where I enter the sand for my chest to be, the stern to be pointing where I want the club to enter. So obviously the ball would be slightly
That's a good tip, yeah.
Play the ball in the same place. I will say one of the tips that I've learned, if say, you know, you're really struggling with the club kind of entering the sand, or you're taking a little too much sand, an easy way to do it without having to change a whole lot is just standing a little bit further away from it. So a way to shallow it out is literally just distance away from the ball. So some people say that, you know, a lot of people try and change it dynamically, whereas an easy way to fix it, you just literally just stand a little bit further away from it, and that helps actually just naturally shallow the club out.
Yeah, because what would your stance be if you were going to hit like a low bump and runner?
It's like a low bump and runner, I'd be standing a little bit more over it.
Super tall, closer
to it, and like that little, I don't change any of my mechanics.
Yeah.
I just changed a little bit distance away from the ball and setup wise.
Yeah.
A lot of things that can be changed and can be, you know, fixed just simply how you set up into the ball.
Yeah. And how you set up will kind of influence how you swing just naturally.
Naturally. Yeah, you don't even have to think about it. So like for this shot, obviously a little bit higher and softer, I'd stand a little bit further away from it, just help me kind of, as far as shallow it out wise. Stand a little further away from it and literally just swing, natural swing. Well, you want to add a little bit more distance there, but you get the idea.
Okay, so now I have a 7-iron here, Conrad.
Okay.
You told me to get it for you. Now, what do you like to do with the 7-iron in the bunker, and why?
So, one of the lessons I got was, one of my coaches said, if you can hit bunker shots learn how to hit bunker shots with high and soft with a 7-iron, every other club in the bag is going to be easier. So it's learning the technique and ways of hitting a bunker shot with the 7-iron. It's the same mechanics as with every other club. It's just going to make every other club, the lob wedge, a heck of a lot easier. So I guess it's just fully understanding how the club's supposed to work. So for this, obviously you got to camber the club. You got to have some loft on the face. You got to get low. Obviously, right?
Yeah. Wide stance, open fast grip
face,
it.
right? I weaken the left hand. Just kind of keep the face from you know, shutting down.
Okay.
Add a little loft going back.
Oh, sounded good. Now, take us through real quick what you mean by adding loft with the club on the way back. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so adding loft with the club on the way back is the way I think of it is based on how the wrist reacts. So I think of, if the more you cup this left wrist,
okay,
you see the face, like you add loft to the face.
Okay.
The more you bow the left wrist, the more you take away loft. So I think of it just based on the left wrist. Is the more you cup this left wrist, the more you're adding loft to the face. And so the same mechanics, it literally just will take speed out of the ball.
Gotcha.
So I literally set it to the same way. Get some loft on the face. Add loft, going back.
Nice. It's good for a 7-iron, you know?
Yeah, I'll take it. I mean,
this is supposed to be like an over exaggerated drill, so that when you go back to your 56, now it's like butter.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to spend a whole lot of time trying to get to where you can hit a 7-iron 2 feet all day, because when are you ever going to really have to hit a 7-iron at 2 feet? It's more or less the technique of learning how the club's supposed to work. That's going to help you when you actually hit the radar shot. Absolutely.
And you can always overdo something. If you do a drill for too long, now you're in the bunker, now you're throwing too much loft, and now everything's kind of short. So it's just kind of having that medium. And this is good for people who kind of like use the leading edge, who come steep, etc.
I mean, you come steep into it with a 7-iron. You know what I mean? Like there's no way you're gonna get the ball. This is just all. It's supposed to be a drill.
Yeah.
You know, you're not supposed to get to where you can, you know, use this shot around the greens. As much as, you know, it'd be cool to show your buddies, but it's not a practical shot you're actually gonna use.
You're exaggerating all the good qualities that you need in a bunker shot technique.
Exactly.
That's
all it is. You know, exactly what you said earlier. You know, that if you do it for too long, then you're going to get to the point where you overdo it. You're going to get your lob wedge back, and you're going to start leaving shots in the bunker, you know, 4 or 5 feet in front of you. So you want to make sure that you treat it as such, use it a few times, get to where you can do it, then switch back to your normal shot.
Gotcha. Okay, let's see one more. Okay. All right, thank you for sharing, Conrad. I appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can like pick up some of those tips there with adding loft, maybe using a 7-iron, sternum. There's definitely a lot of little gems in there. So once again, this is all about experimentation, always figuring out what works for you. Kind of your setup's going to be a little different, your clubs, your bounces. So it's really going out there and figuring out what you need to work on and continue to improve. So thank you once again.